Hello, welcome back. Here we are once again. It's getting closer to Christmas and it's time to open another door on the Advent calendar of Lard. I hope you've been enjoying what you've been listening to so far and that you are filling up with Christmas spirit. Now then, let's see what we can find behind this door for today. Ooh. Now then, Nick, it says. Oh, okay, Nick. Today is a special day when we get to play our Christmas game, the Defenestration of Lard.
The Defenestration of Lard.
Now, the Defenestration of Lard allows you to hurl one aspect of wargaming out of the metaphorical window to be dashed on the rocks below. What do you wish to defenestrate and why? Well, what a magical opportunity the Advent calendar is giving me today. Everyone loves a good old rant, and here we are. The Advent calendar has given me the golden opportunity to get ranting and to get all the things off my chest that drive me mad about wargaming. Where do I start? What do I start with? Or more suitable, perhaps, who do I start with? Who can I defenestrate? Who can I hear flying out that window already? Anybody in red trousers, maybe? Well, maybe somebody who maybe somebody not too far away from. Hang on, there could be legal implications here. I need to be careful. Right. Okay, let's make a list. I've got a book of lists somewhere. Let's see. There's lots to think about defenestrating an hobby. Let me find my book of lists. Here we are. Girls in white dresses, in blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes. Brown paper pack. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, hang on a minute. I've got the wrong list. I've got Sid's book. Right. Let's try this list. Here we are. Don't worry about that. Let's just wing it. Well, I'd say by the time of recording, there are a few wargamers and historians who would love to be given the chance to carry out a defenestration of Ridley Scott. These Napoleon films certainly seem to have set the cat among the pigeons, and I've actually really been enjoying, with a little evil snigger, the upset that it's caused, and following that upset on social media and various media outlets, etc. It's actually been quite funny, I think, that people got so upset by a film. But I haven't seen it, so I can't really defenestrate Mr. Scott or his film because I haven't seen it yet. So I can't really go for that one. So I'll have to go for something else. Let me see what else we've got. The truth is there are a number of things on my defenestration shortlist, but here I think are my top three, which I will now discuss in no particular order. Okay. The first item on my shortlist is packaging. Now, it's not something we see on the Wargames table, but it is a huge part of wargaming. I absolutely loathe and detest the way things are packaged in wargaming and in general, to be honest. I buy a lot of stuff off eBay, and the varied packaging standards that there are enough to drive me nuts. Most specifically, however, and some people may already know this because I rant about it on other forms of media, I loathe and detest those environmentally friendly packaging pellets. You know, the things that look like Wotsits or corn maze snacks. These ones that burst from just about every package that you open. They come in different colours. They're green, they're blue, they're whatever. Now, they just go everywhere. They just bubble. What's wrong with bubble wrap? Why do we have to have this packaging? People tell me that you can wash them down the sink. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But I've done that. You know, if you buy normal volumes of stuff, it might be okay. But when you're a sort of hard scale war gamer like I am, you know, I've got packages coming in here more times than my wife would care to know about. It doesn't work. The last time I flushed them all down the sink, I had to get some super powerful drain cleaner to prevent the sink from backing up. So that they are a definite contender. I also now know that every package I receive from anybody who knows me is going to be riddled with this stuff. However, that's a definite contender. If I put it into the defenestration of lard, we'll never see that again. So that's a real possibility. Right, the second thing that I loathe and detest, which makes its way onto my defenestration of lard list, simply because on social media I see lots of it, is black pudding. Black pudding. It's long been established that I'm no fan of this ghastly substance, and it peers back at me from various rate my breakfast posts that I see on my Twitter feed. The truth is, I'd rather eat my tub of basing material as to eat that stuff. And actually, I think they might be made of the same thing. So black pudding is definitely on the list to be defenestrated. And that would be good. No black pudding ever again. Okay. The third thing, which is a bit more wargamey and probably therefore might pip the others to the post and might see it strapped into the chair of defenestration, is points. Points don't make prizes. Points have been on my defenestration list for nearly 20 years. I hate point systems in games. I hate the need we have to say, oh, we're not competition gamers. Oh, by the way, that could be another thing on the list, couldn't it? We're not competition gamers. But then we instantly turn our games into competitions by making them exercises in balancing points. The truth is that point systems don't work. And the reason they don't work is they do not assign any of the units a value in terms of the game situation, the terrain, or the timing and event within the game. A unit of heavy cavalry and an artillery piece might have equal points. But when you place the enemy behind a bastion or behind city walls, then the artillery piece suddenly becomes massively more useful than the cavalry ever will be. Unless the game changes dramatically. And the cavalry now become useless. Terrain is the big leveller in games, not point systems, and we need to make more allowances for that when we think about game setup. Place a unit in a defensive position and you instantly make it more formidable than it was moments before. Yet the point system says it's the same value. I really do not buy the idea that games should be equal on paper. I think that spoon-feeding players like this encourages them into not truly thinking about the true potential military value of the units in certain situations. And it's a bit of a cop-out, I think, too, when it comes to scenario design. I can hear people turning off by the thousand, but I also think more worryingly, that, that two elements of our command, like say that artillery piece and those heavy cavalry, are an equally valuable asset. They can lull us into thinking that they're equally valuable. But an asset that isn't used will eventually become a liability. And when we shop on point systems, we buy things that end up being liabilities. We hold back high-value items, thinking that we will use them in the coup de grace, and we end up not being able to deploy them at all. Now, the other and more rather obvious reason why we should expel point systems out of the window at a rather rapid rate of knots is because history didn't use them. In fact, war is not fair. We only have to turn on our TV screens to find that out. War is about concentration of effort to beat the enemy. Now, that doesn't mean to say that on occasion equally matched forces will come together, but it does mean that we should not worry about balancing a game. Historical scenarios are often one-sided, but they are often won by the side who, on paper at least, would have had the points disadvantage, because in those actions a number of other factors, especially terrain and possibly logistics, most definitely command, and a series of other factors not taken into account when it comes to taking out points, are all combining to make the smaller force, in terms of points, actually the force that's more likely to win. So points give us a misleading situation. I think they are a cop-out in some degree when it comes to balancing a game. I don't like the use of them. I don't like the idea of balance points games, and I don't like games that significantly use points to balance the sides. There, I've said it. Rant over. And that is now settled. That is what I am going to defenestrate from the window of Lard Towers. So, rant over, that's it. When you hear the sleigh bells at Christmas, listen out for that rather wonderful sound. The sound of point systems crushing out of a distant window and falling onto the rocks many floors below. Let's just hope they don't hit that jolly old elf who will be down there, probably stuffing my Christmas social media feed with pictures of black pudding and filling my stocking with environmentally friendly packaging pellets.